Hi world, it's Keely and I'm back for another video. This is going to be a readathon announcement. I was thinking of kind of all of the things that I want to get done in 2026 and realized that I am very much focused on the future instead of kind of living in the moment. And so I was thinking about, well, what can I do to kind of help ground myself during this time, because it's been a lot of things up in the air and we're heading into the holidays, and I know that the holiday season can be really hard for a lot of people, myself included. And one of my favorite parts of the holidays is all of the content that creators make, you know, Vlogmas or readathons, or, you know, if they're streaming on Twitch, all of those things to help give people a place where they can feel connected to a community when they might not otherwise have that. And even if you do have that during the holiday season, it's still nice to have, you know, additional places where you can connect. All of that to say, I sat this morning and I created what I'm going to be calling the Wrap It Up Readathon. This is going to take place from December 1st to December 31st. There's a bunch of different prompts. I have all hope and intent of keeping this going every year so that this can be something that we come back to at the end of each year and really set ourselves up for a strong start to the next year, and also just kind of having fun along the way. Now, how this is going to work is I created 3 separate sections of prompts. Basically, what I hope is that people will read the prompts, adjust them however they best fit you and your life, but then also share with us as much as you want to in the comments, or if you have your own channel, share the things that you'll be working on, the reflections section, which we'll go through, you know, just like engage with each other and give everyone kind of just this place where we can be together throughout the holidays so that hopefully no one feels alone or left out. Whether you are actively engaging or just lurking, totally fine. I just want people to know that at least on my tiny little section of the internet, that I'm hoping that this can be like a very welcoming, comforting place that you can come to. I will be making a video at the beginning, well, at the end of November, talking through some of the things that I will be working on in December. So that will be coming later. But throughout December, I'm going to try to be a little bit more active on my channel. What I've been doing is posting at least once a week since like mid-August. Occasionally more than once a week in December. I would like to try to post more frequently just to continue to be part of the community and give people things to look forward to, hopefully. I don't know if anyone ever looks forward to my videos. I do. So I'm hoping that I can just, you know, create the environment that I look for on other people's channels. Now let's get into all of the prompts. Basically, there are no rules for this. This is supposed to be a very relaxing, very, you know, go with the flow, go at your own pace kind of readathon. I know there are lots and lots of readathons that people host throughout the year on BookTube, and I have tried some of them. Some of them have been successful with, some of them I feel are just so immensely complicated and my brain just really struggles with them, or my reading tastes don't line up and I feel left out. And so when I was making this readathon with these prompts, I wanted to make them as open-ended as possible so that no matter what you read, no matter what kind of content you consume, you can still take part. The first section we will go through is all of the reading prompts. So these are really focused on things that take place in the current year, 2025, and I wanted to give people a chance to pick out specific things, specific books that have come into their life in 2025 or that they've been thinking about this year that we can try to finish up. The first prompt is to read the first book that you bought in 2025. If you purchase books, it doesn't matter what format, physical book, ebook, audiobook, however you purchase them or however they have come into your life, pick that one or as close as you can get to the earliest book that came into your life in 2025 and finally read it. If you are amazing and you've already read the first book that came into your life in 2025, pick the next earliest one. So if you are 100% caught up, you're incredible and I envy you. But if you're not like me, go back through the year, try to remember the books that came into your life. This could also be a book that you got out from the library at the beginning of the year and you were like so excited for and then you just didn't get to. Try to get that book again and complete it before the end of the year. The next prompt follows right from that. Read the last book that has come into your life in 2025. So again, it doesn't matter the format, just the one that most recently came into your life. If this is a book that comes in, let's say you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any of the holidays and you get a gift, and you know, that could be towards the end of December. I know that's a really short window. Pick the book previous to that so that you don't feel as much pressure to get to it in the last couple days of December. The next one is going to be finish a series. A lot of us are in the middle of a lot of different series, and I know for myself, I am working through a lot of them and trying to wrap up some that I've been working on for years so that I can start 2026 fresh and begin a whole bunch of new series. And so this one is just pick one. It doesn't matter how many books are in the series. If you have like a novella left, doesn't matter. Just wrap it up, finish it, just be done with it by the end of the year. I also want to say though, if you are reading a series and you're on book 3 of 12, just read the next book. Like, just continue making progress. If you're not at the point where you could actually finish a series, just make progress on one. It doesn't have to be as like intense as I might have made it sound. The next one is going to be read the oldest book on your TBR. Again, it doesn't matter the format. It doesn't matter if it's a book that you've thought about for years and years and years, but you don't actually own. Go get it from the library if you can and try to read that book. I have to go through my shelves and figure out which book I've had the longest. Some of those are probably going to be books that are out in the hallway on my mutual science fiction fantasy shelves that I share with my husband, because since those books are out there and not in my office, I don't think about them that often, but I know there's some that have been on that shelf since I made my booktube channel in 2014. So I'm gonna have to go through and really think about which one is the oldest book on my shelf. The next one is to just do a comfort read. If you don't do any of the other prompts, totally doesn't matter. Pick a book that is comforting to you. That can be a favorite book that you just love rereading. Doesn't matter if you've already read it once or twice so far this year. Read it again. If it's a series that you absolutely love that brings you a lot of joy, if it's a childhood book, if it's an audio book that, you know, you used to have someone in your life that would read a book, that story to you, and you don't have that anymore, so now you want to listen to it as an audio book. You know, however you want to do this. It can be a magazine, it doesn't have to be a book, but just consume something that is comforting to you at this time. There is at least one series that I haven't made progress on, or I haven't completed. It's incredibly comforting to me, and I'm really worried about finishing it because it's so comforting, so that one I might do for this one. But basically, I just wanted to give people the chance to, you know, get rid of all the other goals. Doesn't matter about any of those reading goals, just pick something that's going to make you feel any kind of fuzzy feeling, anything that makes you feel good. And then the final reading prompt that I came up with is to finish a book that you started earlier in 2025. If you are like me, you start a lot of books throughout the year, but you don't necessarily finish them all. Some of them are like soft DNFs. You'll get to them at another point. Some of them are like hard DNFs. I'm never coming back to that book. Oh my God. Some of them are, I was really, really into this one topic and I started this book and then my brain was like, nope, done with that, move to the next thing. And so I started another book. So go back through the year, try to remember any books that you started at the beginning of the year or any time throughout 2025 that are unfinished that you would like to finish. Now let's move into the next section. I wanted to make this readathon as inclusive, as comprehensive as I could. I know that the theming of it, wrap it up, I thought was cute because like wrapping presents, it's not Christmas specific. It's not, you know, any one particular holiday or religion or anything specific. This is for everyone. It's just the theming that I chose because green and red to me is this time of year because me and my husband celebrate Christmas, but I don't want anyone to feel left out. Please, I hope that this will fit for everyone. Also, side note, I should have said this earlier, the font is red because that fit the theming. I recognize that that could be really hard for people to read. I will be making a second version. Hopefully it's already in the comments down below that is a different color scheme so that it's easy for everyone to consume. Okay, next section. This is other media. So a lot of us consume lots of different types of content. I love books, that's one of my main hobbies, but I also really enjoy podcasts, and I really enjoy video games, and I sometimes watch TV, and I watch a lot of YouTube. So I wanted to give a section that kind of speaks to that. This is the other media section. The first one is to finish a TV show that you started in 2025. I am notorious for starting shows and never finishing them. We started Dining in Dungeon, Something in Dungeon. We started that earlier this year, did not finish it. I literally have one episode left of The Good Place, haven't finished it. We started the first season of the Percy Jackson show, didn't finish it. We are on the second season of the Goosebumps show, didn't finish it. So pick a TV show or a series that you have started that you would like to finish. Now, if you're someone that consumes a lot of anime, I know a lot of anime series are ridiculous. Let's say you started One Piece this year. There's about 8 billion episodes and editions or manga of One Piece. Just make progress on it. It doesn't have to be completely finished, but just continue to make progress on it. The next one is to watch a most anticipated movie. I don't watch a ton of new movies throughout the year. I do keep a list on my phone every year of the things that my husband and I watch together, and then at the end of the year, I read them all aloud, and we remember kind of what we were doing at the time, if they were things we watched on vacation together. It's kind of a nice like memory thingy that we do. So I do watch some stuff, but not a ton. However, through the holiday season, my husband and I also have a list of kind of core holiday movies that we watch every year. And so what I'm gonna do is just pick a movie off of that list, and that will count as my most anticipated. There aren't really any new release movies that are coming out that I haven't that I really wanted to watch that I haven't already watched. Just saw Frankenstein, of course, and loved it. This one will probably end up being a movie that we've watched a billion times, but because it's the holiday season, it's just time to watch it again. The next one is very, very similar. You'll see this is like a running theme. I want a comfort watch for people. So this can be literally anything. It can be a YouTube video, it can be a documentary, a movie, a TV show, an interview, anything, music videos, anything, just something that makes you feel fuzzy feelings that you enjoy. I rewatch British Bake Off, the seasons that are on Netflix, a couple times a year, every year. I of course have watched the new season, but now I'm going back and watching all of the holiday episodes. That for me is going to probably be my comfort watch, which is going to continue to watch British Bake Off. It doesn't matter if it's something you've seen 10,000 times. It doesn't matter if you literally just finished it and you just like remember rewinding? If you rewind and start over, this is really just giving you a place to say like, yes, I did this, and it was just something that brought me joy. And the final one for this section is to finish a game that you started in 2025. So if you play video games and it's a campaign that you started, if there's a particular quest or mission in a game, if you have a challenge that you've started in a particular game, if it's a puzzle that you started, I'm counting that as a game. If there's a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that you've been working on with your friend group, just make progress towards that if you can. Any type of game. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is, and this can be apply it however you want. Just if there's something that you started in 2025 that you would like to wrap up before the next year, just work on it. I have a couple options for this one, but I will talk about them. We'll see where my progress is at by the time that I make my kind of TBR and all of that for this readathon, but I have a couple ideas. The next section is going to be all other hobbies. So if it's not covered by like digital media, if it's not covered by reading, let's talk about it. Let's work on it. I wanted to include a section where it can be things that people love that they work on, that is not just reading. The first one is to finish a WIP or a work in progress. So this is something that you may have started earlier in the year, something you started years ago, something that you haven't even started yet. You just want to get it done. This is really just giving you, hopefully, that little incentive to work on that thing. If there's a knitting project you've been working on, if there's a painting you've been doing, paint by numbers, a puzzle, doesn't matter what it is. I wanted to give a place for recognizing that people are complex and have lots of different interests, and so finish a work in progress or continue to make progress on your work in progress. The next one is to bake or cook something that you're really excited to try. I have been working my way through a cookbook this year. I will talk about it in my wrap up of the year, in my goals for next year, all of that. I've really been challenging myself with baking and cooking. And so I wanted to give space also to that as a hobby, because a lot of us have that hobby. And so I have a couple things that I'm really stressed about that I think are going to be really challenging to create, to cook, to bake, but that's something that I thought could be really fun. So again, this can be something that's like, you know, brand new, you've never made it before, or include something that you freaking love and you're just so excited to have it again. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the hyperfixation meal of the month and you had it literally for dinner last night and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna have it for lunch today and then dinner today, and then it doesn't matter. If it's something that brings you joy, if it's something you're excited about, do that thing. And the final one for this section is just a comfort creation. So it doesn't have to be something that you complete. It doesn't have to be something that you ever finish. That's my dog moving around. It doesn't have to be something that you ever finish. I just wanted to give space for people to do something creative that makes them feel happy, if possible. Something that brings you any kind of good feeling. And so it doesn't matter what it is. It can be, you know, if you're scrapbooking, if you're doing a bullet journal, if you want to get started on your reading journal for 2026, if you want to start all of your planning and you're like a stationary person, it doesn't matter. If it's something that you're just excited to use your brain to create something or use your body to create something, I definitely wanted to give space for that. I will talk about this more moving into December, but my thing for this is also going to be exercise. And so if it's an exercise goal that you have or something you just want to start doing, that can also count for hobbies creating things. So if you create a goal for movement for your body, I'm going to say that counts. Let's include everything in here. This is not supposed to be prohibitive by any means. And then the final section is the reflection section. So I wanted to give myself some goals, some kind of tangible thingies that I can look at and answer these questions, because I have a really hard time staying grounded, staying in the moment. With decades of therapy, I no longer stress about stuff that happened in my childhood nearly as much, but I do tend to struggle to live in the moment because I'm constantly thinking of like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And so this is really, instead of us focusing on, you know, all of the exciting things we want to do next year, taking the time to think about this past year and the things that we have experienced or achieved, the people that have come in and out of our lives, the animals that have come in and out of our lives, and really give space to sit with that and hopefully let that be a very grounding, kind of calming thing. So the first question is, what's something that you're proud of from 2025? And I wanted to try to give like an outlet for people to also talk through and think about the things that you've tried in 2025 and have failed at. So if it's a goal that you set for yourself that you didn't reach, but you worked on it, that still counts. Like that you, hopefully you still got something out of that process, not just a feeling of like, I didn't do it. Like I want, this is really, I'm like going through my brain. These are things that will help me, but I'm hoping that it will also help you. So let's say this is something I've experienced over the years. Let's say you set a goal that you're going to run a half marathon, you're going to run a marathon, you're going to run a 50K or whatever it is, and you spend weeks and weeks training and doing all this, and then something comes up and you can't do it, whether that's an injury, an illness, a financial issue, just something comes up and you don't actually hit that finish line. That doesn't mean that all of the time and effort that you put into it doesn't count. All of that counts way more than the final, you know, finish line. Of course, it feels incredible when you reach the finish line and everyone cries and it's wonderful. But the weeks and weeks and weeks that you spend working on that thing also very much count. So when you're thinking about something that you're proud of from 2025, if you can't think of like a specific memory, a specific thing you did, just think of the effort that you put into something and hopefully that will also help. What's something you learned in 2025? It can be a fact you learned. It can be something you learned about yourself. Is it a new job, a new hobby? Just really anything. Just what's something fun or not fun that you learned in 2025 that you didn't know before? The next two questions are very similar. One is, what are you grateful for that you experienced or existed in 2025? It can be really hard. Life can suck a lot. And so I wanted to make sure that I am also remembering that there's a lot of things that I can still be grateful for, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. So whether you're having an incredible year, an incredible holiday season, or you're like, oh my God, this year cannot be over faster, what's one thing that you're like, okay, I can look back and say that I'm grateful for that? And then following that, who are you grateful for in 2025? It doesn't have to be someone you know personally. It can be someone that you enjoyed their content. It can be an actor in a movie that made you feel things. It can be a person that you saw on the street one day. It can be the cashier that was nice to you. It doesn't matter who it is, but try to pick one person that you're grateful for from 2025. And it can also be yourself. Like, there's no shame in saying, you know what, I'm grateful for me. And all I did for me in 2025, that's fine too. That counts. This one's going to be hard. One word to describe 2025. It doesn't have to be a positive word. It doesn't have to be a negative word. It can be a neutral word. It can be a word that doesn't make sense to anyone else, but just think of what's one word that you would use to describe 2025. If you can't narrow it down to a word, that's okay. You could do like a sentence or a phrase or something, but just try to really sum up your year as much as you can in like one word. Similar to what are you grateful for, this one is, what's your favorite memory from 2025? What's something that, you know, whether it was a good experience or a bad experience, it's just something that's going to stick with you that you want to remember, or that you think, you know what? In like 10 years, I'm going to look back and be like, damn, I'm okay with that. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be a good thing, but just what's a memory? If it is a good thing, that's amazing. That would be wonderful. I hope everyone has a favorite memory. But if there's just a memory that you have, what is it? Who was your favorite content creator of the year? It's okay if you have more than one, but like, who are the new people that you started watching? Who's the person you've been watching for decades and you still love? Who's the person that's been your go-to that you look for, whether it's on, you know, social media, if they make YouTube, if they're a TV producer, if they're, you know, an executive director, if they are a podcast host, if they're an audiobook narrator. We can also say content creator in terms of like, is there someone that works at your local library that makes like dope ass events? That counts too. It can also be you. Like, if you've worked really hard on something this year, if you've done something that you're like, I like that, damn. Count yourself. It can be kind of anyone, but I just wanted people to think of like, who are the people in your lives, doesn't matter if you know them or not, that you kind of have looked to and been like, I'm okay with you. And then the final question for this readathon is, what was your favorite TV show, movie, game, podcast, audiobook, anything of the year? What are your top favorites? The things that you were just like, damn, that was so fun, or that was so good. You know, what are the things that you're just happy that have come into your life in 2025? So those are all of the prompts for this readathon. If you want to make a bingo board and try to do, you know, try to fill in some prompts and give yourself a bingo board or something, that's fine. You know, basically do whatever you want to make this fun for you. I just wanted to kind of create something that if you're looking for a pretty chill, low-key readathon, I'm calling it a readathon, but it's really, you know, all kinds of content. If you're just looking for something that you can work on in December, if you're looking for, you know, ways that you can connect with other people on the internet when you don't necessarily have that, or maybe you do and you just want another one. I just wanted to create this because this is something that if I saw on someone else's channel, I would be excited for and I would want to do. So I hope that if you are taking part, I hope that others will join me in this very first year of the Wrap It Up Readathon. If you have any prompts or anything that you would like to work on that I didn't include, please feel free to do that. If there are things that you're like, you know what, I really want to do that, but it's not listed, but I'm going to count it, let me know. You know, this should be whatever you want it to be. I gave some prompts so that hopefully if you need kind of some guidance, some things to work on, you can do that. But please, by all means, do whatever you want to make a part of the Wrap It Up Readathon. Absolutely, we can count it. And I just want people to have a comforting, chill place in case you need it for the holidays. I want to recognize, I think I said it earlier, but I want to recognize that the holidays can be really hard for people, and having a space where you can come to, hopefully on my part consistently, to communicate with other people in the world so that you don't feel alone at this time, I think is really important. So I think that's enough rambling for now. I hope that you guys will take part. Please let me know if you're going to. Please let me know if there are any other readathons or projects that you're going to be working on in December to kind of finish out the year. And I hope that we can finish out the year on a good note. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.